Greetings, groovy people. Welcome to my channel. I'm the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon, and as I mentioned in last week's Friday night video introduction, this week I'm going to be inking the Queen of Hearts. I really hope that music is not too loud. Ooh. It's kind of hard because like my microphone only functions with my main computer, and so I've got my microphone plugged in over there, and then I've got my video recorder over on my laptop over here, so I'm a mess. One of these days I'll have my stuff together, but oh, by the way, I'm the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon. Welcome! So anyway, I'm going to be doing an inking of the Queen of Hearts to go with the fairy. It's the seasons cards that I'm working on. Yeah, the lighting. I've been working a little bit on the lighting, so hopefully it'll be better. I mean, things look pretty good on my camera right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. This is all just gonna be, I don't have anything really that I even thought about talking about, really. I discussed India ink last week in the introduction. I'm using Dr. P. Wait, is it? Yeah. I'm using Dr. P.H. Martin's Bombay Black ink, Black India ink. I do not have the affiliate link for this because, as I mentioned last video, I'm thinking of probably not buying India ink anymore. I think it'd be a little hypocritical for me to try to make money off of it. But I do have the links for the other stuff that I use. This is just a Bristol board that I think I got on sale, probably. It was a really big Bristol board, and I've had to cut this down with my paper cutter. I'm going to be using this, but I think I'm going to start with, this is, I think, the Speedball brand. This is what I used to do my comic with. Oh, that light, see, that light keeps changing. This is what I used to do my comic with. And I've used it so much. I use a lighter sometimes to clean it off. I got that out of a manga, how to draw manga book. Before I discovered Mark Curley, I was buying a different series. Back when I thought I had infinite money to waste, but I should have been saving it. I bought a lot of the how to draw manga books. And one of the tips was, if this gets really bogged down, to wash it off and then use a lighter. I don't know if that works or not, you guys. I'm just telling you why it looks kind of weird. You can kind of see it. Maybe. It won't focus. Anyway. But I like to use this sometimes with the thicker board so that it doesn't splay out my, my nib that I use. I have a couple spare nibs. What else am I using so far? That's it. I have a regular paper. So I don't even know what I'm going to talk about because I do want this to be super casual. One of my problems, though, with the Bristol is that it's really fudge. I didn't cuss. Oh man, you know what I wanted to say though. It's really hard to see with the Bristol. I think this line actually comes in because it is her bun. I got the idea to do these cards from another YouTuber, and I'll be the first to admit, I'm not subscribed to her. I've watched a couple of her videos, and I love her art, but I'm just not, I don't know, I just am not, I don't watch her. But it's that Lamia Crescent. She has gorgeous art, you guys. Her skill level is just out the roof. I'm not sure, I don't like to really judge other people in my videos, or, I mean, you know, we all judge people in real life, but as I do that, I do try to think about what someone's, you know, personally gone through in their life. I'm not talking about her at all, I'm just talking about in general people. And so I'm not going to really say much on my personal opinion on her videos, but I've watched quite a few of her art videos, and she is very talented. I think she must be really young also. And when I say talented, I know some people, I have seen people around art forums get like create these memes saying, "Don't call me talented. I work hard. This is a skill." It's like, Well, no duh. I mean, when people say you're talented, they don't mean that you haven't put any work or skill into what you're doing. People get offended so incredibly easily about like some of just the silliest things, I feel. If someone's calling you talented, they're not trying to belittle you or take away from your abilities or how much hard work you've done. A lot of times people don't know the way, even the definition. We use it in our normal language. We use words incorrectly all the time. Like people will be like, I literally ate a horse. They speak in hyperbole. Nobody literally ate a horse unless, you're eating horse meat, which some cultures do. But, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, people are just using words that they feel are complimentary a lot of times. And whenever someone gets mad at another person for trying to pay them a compliment, that really irritates me, because it's like, you probably don't use every word accurately either. I sure as heck don't. I mean, you guys hear me do the word of Wednesday and then I'll use it wrong, and then I'll have to go back and correct myself because I've messed it up. But I just get so irritated because it's like their heart is in the right place, and here you're begrudging them of the the desire to compliment someone that they look up to, or someone whose art they really like. And instead of, graciously and humbly accepting that compliment, people get all mad. It's like this isn't talent. I woke up and I was born with this talent. I had to work hard for it. And yeah, that's true. It's good for you to, I mean, I think it's good to point that out to people, but the way in which I see people do it is very negative, and all it does is just it alienates people and discourages them from wanting to pay a compliment. Like, even as an artist myself, I've gone to people's deviant art pages and I've been wanting to pay compliments, and I'm like, I better not say you're talented, because even though I understand how much work it takes to create a piece of art, what if this is one of those people who are so incredibly, I feel, insecure about maybe not their art but about themselves, that they've got to nitpick and play the semantics game. And I feel very passionate about this, you guys, because there are so many things that somebody could pick out that's more important than you used the wrong word to compliment me. Well, then maybe you're going to be discouraging people from complimenting someone in the future. I mean, if it was something insulting, like they were being condescending, like, you're talented and that's the only reason why you're better than me, I totally understand someone wanting to respond or knee-jerk and be defensive about that and be like, hey, look, I'm not talented, I worked hard for this. But a lot of times I feel it's really unsolicited. It's just, people, I don't know, just people wanting to, of all the things to gripe about in the world and all the bad things going on, I feel like there's more important things to be nitpicking about. Boy, that was almost a Freudian slip. I don't even know why that would be slipping out, but anyway. I just got back from a trip up to Chicago. At the point that I am recording this video, I had, oh no, my ugly head isn't, oh my god, I'm so sorry, this is what the Friday videos are gonna be. Oh man, my head was in there. Anyway, as I was trying to say, sorry about that, you guys. I just got back from a trip to Chi-Town. My nephew, every year, the little guy, he's 14 now. Oh my gosh, it's like that Brady Bunch episode where Peter's voice is deep. He's 14 now. I'm so used to him having his high-pitched little kid voice. And this summer, I just realized, I was like, oh my gosh, insert nephew's name here, your voice is like so much deeper than it had been. He's like, yeah, he's just like, yeah, my voice is starting to change. He's just so confident. And I love him to death. He's such a fun, creative kid. He's got these notebooks I bought him a composition notebook one year because he likes to write about cars and stuff. But recently he and his group of friends have been working on writing and creating video games that they want to make in the future if they decide to go that route. He hasn't decided what he wants to be when he grows up. But at any rate, every year I like to do something special with him. Just, so he can get out of the house. He lives out in it's not in the country, but I don't know, people these days, his friends, their parents really like hyper schedule their summer, so they don't really have a lot of time to hang out. And I guess my nephew doesn't have a cell phone because he's 14. He doesn't even have a driver's license yet. I guess things are changing. I mean, I didn't get my first cell phone until I was working, and I finally had my own car, and my parents, if my car broke down, they wanted me to be able to get a hold of them somehow. And that's why I got my first cell phone. So I don't understand all these kids having cell phones and stuff, but I don't have a kid, and I'm an old soul anyway. I really live more like someone from the 1860s or the 1960s, or both, a little bit of a combination of both. But at any rate, in the summer, his friends don't really come over. Gosh, I'm so lucky that my cousins and my sister and all of us, well, of course my sister, but we all lived on the same property growing up, so I never had want for friends. I always had someone to play with. And I feel kind of bad for him, at least, because he doesn't have that. All he has are old people like us that he hangs out with in the summer, and you can really tell it. There's my head again. Oops. You can really tell it because he's so he talks like us. He talks like an adult, you guys. He's really more mature than some adults. Whoa, that finger is ugly. What the heck did I do? Maybe I'll just when you make a mistake, fill it in with black. But yeah, so getting back to the story, I just got back from a trip to the aquarium because he loves dolphins, particularly orcas, and I suggested, I was like, maybe you should, when you grow up, be like a marine biologist or something. But he doesn't know. He might, I don't know. He's got dreams of maybe possibly being a lawyer too, because he wants to make money and move to Canada. Which I can't say that's not a noble cause. I don't know what he's gonna end up doing, but that's what his latest thing is. But we went up to the Sheds Aquarium in Chicago. I had to be an adult. And I started being an adult by forgetting my cell phone. See, I hate cell phones, you guys. No, there's a long story. I had been up literally 24 hours. I work best at night. Like, even right now, I think it's like it's 4:20. Ooh, it's 4:20. Nope, can't do that. It's 4:20 a.m. right now. So I'm a night person, and I've just been incapable of making myself go to sleep. And I tried to go to bed early. I laid down at like 1 o'clock, knowing I had to get up at 7:45 is what I had to get up at. But I couldn't sleep. I lied there awake all night, literally. So I do have an excuse for being a little irresponsible, but I mean, back again, I didn't used to have a cell phone, so it's like I forgot the cell phone, big deal. I asked, they had clocks around the buildings at the Union Station. They have clocks everywhere. All you gotta do is open your mouth and be polite and ask someone what time it is. So we had everything, nothing, it all came off without a hitch, nothing, no problems at all. But we had such a good time. Oh my goodness, their food court was, I knew it was going to be expensive, but holy cannoli. So sorry. Why did you stop playing music? I put the list on for a reason. Anyway, music is from a YouTube channel, Muse. What the heck is it? museopen.org, for like fair use, public access music. That's what I'm using. I'll have that in the description. But oh my gosh, the food was good. They had the Beyond Burger, which I was extremely pleased. He got a cheeseburger with ketchup only. Ketchup only. Oh my god, this everybody who works at the aquarium, the staff, you guys, if you have a chance, if you're close, if you're in the area, it's expensive, but oh my gosh, was it so worth it. The staff, both the people working in the aquarium part and the cafe, they were super friendly. I don't know if they like their job. They at least give the illusion that they like their job, because the dude and the dudettes, they were all so incredibly fun, just kind. I mean, it's like you're just going to get something to eat while, doing some stuff. So, I mean, I didn't really expect, I didn't expect anything, but boy, they sure did. They sure were fun and kind and, joking around, and they're doing some, I really love that, so I've talked about it in my, this art is garbage video with the paper tiger, but plastic is such a massive problem, and we really need to find some alternatives, which people are working on bioplastics and things that, biodegrade. It doesn't solve the problem of, lack of oxygen in the landfills and just how much garbage we have, but they are working on it. And to give the aquarium credit, they had trash bins, and they had compostables, and they had cups that we got the refillable cups. They weren't plastic cups. They were plastic cups, but they weren't takeaway cups. You had to return them with your tray. And they had a compost section and then the landfill section for the garbage. They had 3 different options. And they did not have plastic straws, which good on them. I mean, I don't really need a straw unless I'm driving. Half the time when we go, if I go to a drive up like Taco Bell or something, I will ask them. I know it kind of throws the staff off, and I feel bad for them because I know they've got a lot going on, but I ask them flat out to not give me a straw because I don't need it. It's not necessary. I have some reusable straws at home, but it's really not necessary, you guys. I mean, do what you're going to do, but to give them credit, that's an initiative that they've taken because the plastic affects sea life so incredible. There's plastic islands, there's plastic straws and pieces of stuff getting caught in animals' noses and mouths. I mean, I've watched videos on it. It's very, very upsetting, you guys. God, her hair looks terrible. What the heck am I doing? I should maybe extend this. If I'm gonna do this, go all the way, Ashleen. It's like the Raspberries, Please let me go all the way. You know that song? Nobody knows that song because it's an old song. Maybe some people know it. My mom had that 45. I had it for years. I had quote unquote borrowed it from her. And then she discovered that I borrowed it from her and I had to give it back. Is that stealing if you give it back? I don't know. She wasn't listening to it. She didn't have like a record player that was accessible for the longest time. I was like, what? If you're not using this, why are you hoarding it? Share the love. It's okay. I need to get my own stuff. It is hers. It's rightfully hers. There's absolutely no excuse. I just took it. I gave it back. When I was asked to. Anyway. But yeah, we had a really good time. And that kid, he's so imaginative. I'm really happy that he uses his imagination. I think that imagination is, we talk about it all the time, but I feel like more and more people sometimes I don't know, I just feel like sometimes people don't use their imagination, and instead they want to have everything just the way they want it, and they don't try to create it themselves in their own mind, or create it, I don't know. I don't even really know what I'm talking about there, you guys. I'm just kind of talking. I might fall quiet in some of these videos from time to time. Just because I should have brought some water. Jeez. Did I? No. I mean water to drink, not my ink water. When I use the India ink, I don't use my little dragon cup that my ex-boyfriend, when we were still dating, we went to, we're still friends. It's not like a terrible breakup. But this specific ex-boyfriend, for his birthday, he'd wanted to go to this, place in Springfield called Osaka's. And we told him it was his birthday, and he got like that little kitty cup is what I use, and he didn't want it, so he let me have it. He's way too mature for that. Anyway, I won't talk about that anymore. What else do I want to talk about? I don't even know. I guess I ended up using this pen for this whole drawing. I really like this pen. Oops, I have been pretty good at not shaking. Whole lot shaking. I absolutely cannot stand. I like some of his music, but I'm sorry, guys. I cannot stand Jerry Lee Lewis. That man was a piece of work. Oh my gosh. I watched this video, right? With, I'm a big fan of 60s music, if you hadn't already figured that out from watching some of my videos. And one of the musicians that I really love is, and actually is a favorite of my mom really likes them, but I'd have to say it's probably one of Dad's favorites was Eric Burdon and the Animals. But anything that Eric Burdon did, even when he changed the lineup and eventually he quote unquote declared war, which is they were in St. Louis last Saturday, and Brad and I, my dude friend and I were so ticked off because he likes war too. They did Spill the Wine. That was Eric singing on that. They did Why Can't We Be Friends? The World is a Ghetto. Slipping into Darkness. They did a really cool version of Tobacco Road on that Eric Burdon Declares War album. They're really talented musicians. I wish we could have been able to see them, but Eric Burdon was one of my dad's favorites. And I watched a video with some interviews from him, and I don't think they really interviewed the other members, which I didn't really feel that was fair. But at any rate, he was talking about how when finally some of these musicians, some of the rockers from America, they had gotten big enough, the Animals had, with the British invasion, that a bunch of American rockers came over to Britain to tour. And on one of the tours with the Animals was Jerry Lee Lewis and Chuck Berry. And Chuck Berry's from St. Louis, but if you know anything about Jerry Lee Lewis, he's from, I don't know, he's from down south, maybe Georgia? I can't remember what state, because I don't like him. I haven't really looked it up. I shouldn't. I mean, if I'm, I'm going to give Elvis credit. I'm not a massive fan of a lot of his stuff, and I really am not a fan of how poorly he treated his wife. I just, I take a lot of qualms with Elvis, but the one thing I'm going to give him credit on, besides liking some of his songs, he is reportedly, he reportedly was very kind to just about anyone he met, including, in spite of his upbringing, being in a culture that was segregated. I don't know if they were doing that I think he's from Kentucky. I feel like, I don't remember which state. I feel like he's from Kentucky. Isn't that where Graceland is? Or Tennessee? I'm going to have to look it up, because I like Elvis, but I don't like him enough to really know too much about him, because he tried to get the Beatles kicked out. Him and Nixon. Or at least, I don't know if they really did. That's just what I was led to believe as a kid. But I'm going to give Elvis credit. Everyone, a lot of the black musicians of the time and people who met him said that he was always very kind to them, at least in one of the interviews that I watched, or documentaries that I watched. I don't remember what documentary that is, but I'm gonna give him some credit there. Jerry Lee Lewis was one of the biggest bigots. I mean, I just so there's so many things wrong with Jerry Lee Lewis in his personal life that I really like some of his songs, but until he died, I felt uncomfortable. I mean, even to this day, I feel uncomfortable listening to him because, you know, you're going to be racist, but you're going to steal this kind of music. It's like, at least pay homage. I mean, at least Elvis recognized that, you know, this music did not necessarily stem directly from my culture. It's around me. I like the sound. At least he never, I don't know. I feel it's all got to do with the way in which it was handled. And Jerry Lee Lewis was in England where they didn't have segregation. I'm sure they had their own problems, but he was over there and he was trying to make Chuck Berry, according to Eric Burden, he was trying to make Chuck Berry sit on the back of the tour bus, and he kept starting fights with Chuck Berry. And Chuck Berry was like, I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want to fight. We're here, you know, I mean, again, according to Eric Burden, I wasn't there, you guys. I don't think they had anything videotaped of them fighting, but it would not surprise me at all. I've heard a lot of bad things about Jerry Lee Lewis, marrying his cousin, his 14-year-old cousin, excluded. So, I don't know, I tend to believe Eric Burden all this, although I'm sure he tells some tall tales, and, you know, the guy, he's okay, but I'm pretty sure he's been pretty burnt out on all the LSD he's done. But he's still articulate, you know, that wasn't that old of a documentary that I watched, and he seemed to, you know, articulate himself pretty well, so... Anyway, I ended up just talking about the animals and music, and hey, it all links back to the aquarium and everything, you know, yeah, you know, whatever. Okay, so this is the finished inking. I've done that this week. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it and listened to me natter on. I'm still going to try to have the closed captions. I put closed captions just earlier this evening on the, on last Friday's video. It will have already posted by the time this one posts. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this first one. Next week, I am going to take this and try to do a better job on gradation than I did with this poor lady. But yeah, I've got the whole fairy theme going on. Her color scheme, you will have to wait and see what the Queen of Hearts will look like. So tune in next week, Friday, if you're liking these Art With Me videos. Next Wednesday, I am doing a video on Kanma. I am going to work on a wallpaper for my patrons. I gotta get that out before the end of the month. And we're going... Well, I've had so much planned out, you guys. We're going on a trip this coming week because my boyfriend has not had a vacation since last year, so... And his job is extremely stressful. The computer industry is... Well, not computer. He does programming. It's very stressful. So he's just getting ready to start a new job. And he's got a week off, so we're going out east. I've been to North Carolina. It was gorgeous when I was a kid. I was only 3, so... Not 3. I was in 3rd grade. So I don't remember a lot of it, but I do remember having a good time with my family in North Carolina. Everyone seemed to be very friendly. We're gonna go... We wanted to see the Bob Ross exhibit that was supposed to be at the Smithsonian. I watched, a video on that, and then apparently I just discovered today that it's not gonna be at the Smithsonian. It's gonna be somewhere in Arlington, Virginia, I think. This is all I did, you guys. I printed it off, and then I darkened it up a little. Look at that eyeball. See? It looks okay. But, yeah, the exhibit's not until September 10th, and he's got next week off, and that's it. So, unfortunately, we're not going to get to see that. He really likes Bob Ross. I mean, who doesn't really like Bob Ross? Maybe let's turn that off. Can you see that okay? Yeah, that's the finished product. Maybe I'll just put it down here. But yeah, we're going to be going out east, so I will be trying to make sure that everything's updated and ready to go, including getting the wallpaper out for my patrons and doing a video on it. So yeah, that's all oh my face. Oh, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. Do that. Okay, I need to quit this video. It's like a half hour now. It's over a half hour. Thank you for joining me. I wish you all peace and love. Fare you well, and keep on trucking.